Hello, streamers and YouTube viewers. Welcome. We are playing Legend of Dragoon on the PlayStation 1. I usually look up release date info and all that, but I was too lazy this time. First off, this is, a little bit different because it's kind of live stream oriented. I'm also just assuming that all of the microphone and video stuff is working. So, if it's not, shout at me. Otherwise, I will proceed forward. So, this is Legend of Dragoon. It's a great RPG on the PlayStation 1. It's one that I grew up with. I've got a lot of memories renting this from Blockbuster, actually. This is one that I rented a whole bunch of times in a row. And eventually my parents figured out that we were spending more money renting it than, if it would cost to just buy it. So we ended up buying it. And I still have the exact same copy. I'm not playing off of it right now. This is the PS3, PS1 Classics version. So, makes it a little easier to capture, but I do still have it, I promise. So this is the intro video. I actually uploaded this as part 0 if you're interested in seeing all of it on YouTube. But otherwise, we'll get going. So looks like everyone says it's working fine. That's good. Glad to hear it. Oh, actually, I need to mute something on my end. There we go. That should solve some issues. I had the audio coming out of the headphones and it's delayed and it was very confusing. So, as usual, let's check out the options. Great, nothing here. Let's leave because that's generally all there is. And we will start a new game. And I think we're going to start with a movie here, so...
Great Commander, this way.
So, this is her. Indeed. Put her in custody. Is this really necessary?
It is His Majesty, Emperor Dole's command to take that girl into custody.
Who is she?
That is not your concern.
And that's our intro. That's a great intro. That one pretty much caught me from the start. The first time that I ever rented it, I'm just like, oh man, this looks amazing. Because you got to remember, PlayStation 1, the games don't age necessarily well when you look back on them. But at the time, man, that movie was great. And someone also commented on the music. Oh, I agree. This game has absolutely fantastic music. You can find the soundtrack out there on YouTube, and I recommend you do. It's great listening. So we get a brief introduction. This is a character we don't know yet, and we see the green tusked dragon Fairbrand. I'm going to assume that's correct. This is another one of those cases where, please don't nag me too much about pronunciation because I'm bad at it. You know, we all have our ways of saying things, so. Trust me, I got plenty of flack for Legend of Legaia. There were a ton of people, no, it's a Legaia. Nice and atmospheric. Chance of war more likely. One thing I kind of have a problem with in this game is text speed. It's either really slow by default, or if you hit X, it like zooms to the end. I don't know if that's changeable. I don't think it is. Oh yeah, definitely. No spoilers, please. Please don't put any spoilers in chat. Please don't leave any spoilers in comments. You know how it goes with these story-based games. Uh-oh. We've been had. Who are you? Basil. How's that for an answer? What are you doing? Are you drawing a sword? Well, what does it look like, man? Come on. But of course, we've got bigger fish to fry. And it's promptly kicking our butt right now. Look at that thing. I gotta do something, yeah? So we have this great I love when games kind of start with, I don't want to say like a tech demo, but we've got this interesting little section. You don't really see too many like it in the rest of the game. All rendered in-game, you know, with this little chase scene knocking over trees and stuff. Like I said, it was pretty impressive at the time. And like it's been said in the title, it does actually age pretty well despite being PS1. This is one of the games that I think was like sort of mid to late PS1. So it actually holds up pretty well. It does some weird things with the borders on the sides, especially when you've got a TV that doesn't do overscanning. But so it looks like we managed to get away from the monster thanks to whoever this is. Which tells us to shut up if we don't want to die. Might be a good idea. Looks like we managed to sneak away. I'll try not to go through the text too fast. I know, you know, I read kind of fast, so I'm tempted to just sort of skip through it, but I promise I'll make sure it stays on the screen for a while. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Even if you haven't played this particular game before, the animations, you know, it's really indicative of that era. All the arm movements when they talk and people kind of like sliding around to walk sideways. So apparently the dragon destroyed some village, Celis, since there won't be anything left. It's our village. We gotta go. We gotta save everyone. Something shiny. Oh, apparently we're special. Who would have figured, right? the main protagonist is special in an RPG. This is also a cool little scene. It's simple, but this game, it does a pretty good job of being atmospheric when it wants to be. Yep, dragon bashing his head against the wall. Alright, so finally, hey, what's this? We have control. I've got analog movement, which is nice. It's not really analog movement, it's still like hard 8 directions. But it is like pressure sensitive, I can walk slowly. So we got a blue arrow above our head. We'll see what that means later. We can hop over the fence here. There's a treasure chest. No, let me get it. Oh, so we got some soldiers here still left over. Man, picking on the poor guy. Yeah, there you go. Step in. Use that sword of yours that you drew earlier. Rubbing it in, I see. Shut up. What are you doing? These worms were in our way. And we get our first battle. Of course, things are, you know, starting out in the middle of action. I think I've said this before, but there are so many cases in games where, you know, it starts you out pretty much right in the middle of some kind of action sequence, you know, sort of to build interest, I guess. So, we're in a battle. Let's talk about it. As with any RPG, you gotta get used to the battle system. So you can see it's pretty basic, at least for right now. We've got our attacks and guards. We've got items, which we do actually have some of. And, you know, for now we're just going to guard, so, or not guard, but attack, rather. So, one of the big things about this game was that it sort of unveiled a little bit of a innovation in terms of combat. You may have heard of active time battles before, but have you heard of additions? Yeah, it seems like kind of the same thing. But, you know, they do get more complex. Right now we just have the most basic attack, which is a single double slash. Basically, all it boils down to is timing the X button press when the two squares kind of line up. It's a little hard to explain, but generally I've heard some people say they're actually pretty hard at some point. Some of the later ones do get a little bit difficult. And, of course, they're just throwing healing potions at us. Gotta love that. But the addition system was one of the big things that sort of set it apart from other RPGs at the time. There had been timing-based systems before, but this one kind of took it a little bit further, and I think it serves the game really well. So we managed to scare the soldiers off, and now we get to talk to one of the survivors here. Imperial Sandora attacked us. Apparently broke a truce. Vincent Shauna. Only you can... Wait. No, dude, you had more to say. Come back. Yeah. Unfortunately, his time was up, it looks like. So yeah, we can check him here, but he's gone. Looks like we got another lady laying down over here. Already dead. Well, that's unfortunate. So let's go ahead and open the treasure chest now that we saw earlier. We get a burnout. This is just an attack item that we're probably never going to use. This little thing here, you can probably guess if you're familiar with any old school RPGs. This is a save point. You walk in and get this great sound. It's great. I love just... I've spent more time doing that as a kid than I really have any right to admit. So once we get in here, we can open the menu. And also, let's mention the great pause menu music. Oh man, that's so catchy. I've sat on this screen for so long. Alright, so let's go ahead and save here. I'm going to have some other saves that we're going to just ignore and go ahead and put it here on slot 5. Yeah, it's definitely very heavy in the beginning, I'll give you that. Alright, so, yep. Things have been kind of screwed up here. It looks like we arrived just a little bit too late to kind of save everyone. Hopefully Dart doesn't beat himself up about it too much. You know how that gets. Oh man, look at this place. Well, it looks like we got a few people still surviving here, so that's good at least. If only you came back earlier. Man, he don't need to lay on the guilt like that. He already knows. It's not like it was his fault, you know? Yeah, Shauna. We heard something about that from the last guy. Well, too bad. No, this guy might know. Hey, I'm glad you showed up. That's really good timing. I'm glad you came back. Besting a private is no reason to be confident. I guess that's true. He did go down in one shot. Helena Prison. That's a name for a prison, isn't it? Hell in a Prison. Yeah, so apparently they came here just to get her, which is a little, I don't know why they had to raise the whole town, but... this is clever. Not to Helena. To hell! Oh, man. Oh, you totally got me. I don't know that I could fight right now. So this is our first quote-unquote boss battle. Nice little introduction. I love the panning cameras. They do some close-up shots in some boss fights. So we've got these two knights here and the commander. Of course, we're going to take out the little guys first. Need a double slash. He's going to kind of hit us a bit, but, you know, 3 damage is nothing. That guy runs away. That's great. So, yeah, 3 damage. We've got 30 health. We're fine. Let's go after him.
Double slash.
That is awfully cheeky, isn't it? So he's going to power up a bit. And do a whopping 6 damage. Oh no, I'm shaking in my boots. One thing that's worth mentioning is that the guard system is a little interesting as well. And in addition to like having all of the damage, you actually recover 10% of your max HP. So if we were to guard here, we actually get 3 health back, which is kind of pointless here, but we did get another turn, so I don't know, maybe it works out. That's just because Dart's speed is, you know, quite a bit better than this guy's. We'll get into the stats a little bit later. Yep, boss battle music is good. The battle music does switch up depending on, you know, different areas and different fights. So, you know, it's not like there's just one theme that plays throughout the entire game. That might get a little old. Alright, so he should be just about finished. And there he goes. He fades into oblivion because we have some kind of weird magic sword. And we're victorious. So we should get enough experience here. Yeah, we're going to get 24. You can see we only need 20. So that'll level us up to level 2. And we also get a new addition, Volcano, so that we're going to be able to switch out our attacks. Of course, we'll get to check that out once we get out of the battle. And I think we got some little scenes afterwards here. Yeah, well, of course, we got to, right? So that sounds good. So our plan is to go rescue Shauna. I'm going to settle everything. I'll be back. With Shauna, of course. Don't forget about that. Okay, and we get control again. So, as you may well remember, we picked up a new addition in that fight. It's a good time to check out the additions and just what exactly they're all about. As you can see right now, we come equipped with Double Slash. It's got a level, and it's got that add stat, which is not very well explained, but that's basically how many times you will hit the enemy. I think how many times you have to push the button, actually. SP is something that's not meaningful to us at all right now, and the damage percent is pretty self-explanatory. It's also got levels. It gets 1 experience every time you use it successfully. You know, when you get it to 20, it levels up to 2, and usually gets increased damage up to a maximum of level 5, I think. It gets like 80 out of 100 or 100 out of 100, whichever one it is. But of course, we picked up Volcano, which as you can see does more damage, so we're going to be equipping it. It's also going to require a few more hits, so we'll do that. Let's also check out stats while we're in here. You can see we've got it's pretty well laid out, I think. You can just look at your totals there: 6 attack, 7 defense, magic attack, magic defense, and speed. Those are all pretty self-explanatory to anyone that's actually played an RPG before. So, yep, pretty good. We're a little low on health, but we'll take care of that. Looks like we got some kids over here. Let's see what they're up to. Ah! Revenge for everyone. Charging me. Stop, it's me. So the thing here that they're kind of hinting at is that Dart's been away for a while. He's been on a little bit of a journey. So, you know, the villages, everyone's kind of grown up a little bit. Or dead, unfortunately, as the case may be. Yep, not everyone was killed. You gotta help those who are left. Alright, so it looks like we put the kids to work on a good cause. That's good. Well over here, can't really do anything with. So there's some more people laying around. None of these guys are really too important, but, you know, you get a little bit of backstory. Scorch the entire village to the ground. Yeah, it looks pretty bad out here. Yeah, so we kind of got stuck, left behind here. What's up with you, man? You shamelessly, because you weren't here, damn, what are you gonna do about my feelings towards Shauna? Look, man, I don't know what you're talking about. What am I supposed to do about your feelings towards Shauna? Yeah, lay on the go. Why didn't you do something, man, if you're gonna be all mad at me about it? So we got a guy out here who is a little bit special. This is Master Tasman, an interesting character, because as far as I remember, this is the only time that you actually see him. So yeah, Tasman is actually like Dart's mentor. He's the one who taught us how to fight, so, you know, outnumbered but couldn't stop him by himself. So that's how it goes sometimes. So he says that we can have a match with him. We can either accept or decline. We're going to decline because this guy is basically just, you know, the tutorial stuff. And this is where you'd find out about battle, but you got me, right? We don't need Master Tasman. So, of course, at any time, I think once we leave town, he disappears forever. So if you want your tutorial, you got to get it now. So it mentions, wanted to ask for help from Indel's castle. There's a guardian living in the limestone cave on the way, and couldn't go. Yeah, so, of course, that's something we'll have to keep in mind. I also believe if we check around here, yeah, we can check these graves. I think it's this one, yeah. If we check this grave, we actually get a Stardust. This is actually an item that's going to be for a side quest later. We're not really going to have much use for it for a little while, but we'll go ahead and collect the one that's here. So I think that just about takes care of all of our business. There's not much left to do here in Celis. Our checklist is we equipped the new edition, so we did that. We're good. Let's head forward. So, of course, we're going to have to set out to Helena Prison to rescue Shauna. Looks like we're going to get a, a little bit of a look before we actually go. Yeah, you know, for a place named Helena Prison, that's about what I guess it would look like. Fires and smoke everywhere. Well, I mean, you know, I guess it lives up to its name, but... So it's a cell. I guess that's a... Is that supposed to be like a toilet at the bottom there? There's a bed and, you know, a stand with a candle on it. Alright, so here we get introduced to a few new characters. Frugal. This is a guy you'll soon love to hate, I promise. Man in Hood. Uh-oh, he's got to be important. That's it? Yeah. Those of you who do not grasp the value should just do what the order says. Whoa. So apparently this girl we're going after is super important. And Frugal just tosses his guard off the cliff. Great. Yeah, Man in Hood. Never trust somebody named Man in Hood. But I guess that's somebody we'll have to learn more about later. So here we are, south of Serdio. This is the world map. It's nothing super impressive. As you can see, there's kind of a dotted path that you're forced to follow. You can also zoom out a little bit. Not L2, but R2, it looks like. So you can see this is the region we're currently in, and this is kind of the entire map. It also tells us where we need to be going, which is nice and convenient in case you ever kind of get lost along the way. But for now, we've just got a forest. It's interestingly enough, there's a path behind Celis there you might have seen, but I don't think that you can actually ever go there. It's just kind of there for, I don't know, aesthetic reasons, I guess, because that's where we came from.